I don't think we have a situation where there is anything sort of adverse or oh my God, this is a new one and so everything is sort of gone for a standstill. No. I think the most important thing that they need to sort of do, and I think they will, is to get into this whole -3, and -3 is probably where we are all waiting for. Otherwise, I mean, the most important contribution I expect from the new government is, if the pace of economy is good, media will be good, because at least channels like, businesses like us are very, very, significantly ad-led, and advertising follows economy. And as of right now, if we have done so well in the last year and this year now, it's because of the new government. I think given the size of the market, given the ability of the market to sort of, pay for boxes, and given the state that we are in with reference to the mostly unorganized sectors that operate in that, I think TAS 1 and 2 have really happened at commendable speed. We've not had great breakdowns. We've not had major breakdowns. Let's see what is happening with 3 and 4. I think at least with reference to the preparation on 3, I think we should be a little more, which we should be hastening. I'm not very satisfied with the way preparations for 3 is happening, but the way 1 and 2 have happened, fantastic. In the industry, we are already, absolutely. The total industry, I would think that it is already subscription positive to a large extent, obviously. Times is not, we are still a little way away from being, from ridding ourselves of the carriage situation. Obviously, we don't have a large channel, and that's a handicap when it comes to distribution. But yeah, over the last 2 years, significant headway has been made. I think people have started acknowledging, I think DTH players and MSOs have started acknowledging that as a group, as a bunch, we are a bunch which is useful to increase ARPUs. When it comes to the higher end consumers, you cannot, have a distribution, have a subscription pack without having the Times Group. And we've been able to use that significantly to sort of improve our carriage versus subscription position. Our net income has substantially improved, and we are sure that it will continue to improve, and we will get to, a positive situation that you're talking of maybe in a year or so. So that's great. Ad-free channels, whether it is from our group or from outside, I think HBO is the one example which has started. Maybe it's not yet time, but I think 2 years it should be there. I'm very happy with BARC purely because, fundamentally because, we've been able to hold on to our leadership. And in 2 cases, movies now and ET now, our leadership has improved. But I'm saying that in jest. Just because I'm better, it's not that I'm happy with them because of that. But I think the way that the transition has happened, it's been good. There are some, sort of teething issues with reference to, stuff which I think will get sorted. I think the management team is good, the technology is good, and the transition has happened reasonably well. I don't think that's the way forward for English entertainment. I think HD market is a natural progression of television viewing, like black and white went to color, like terrestrial went to cable, like satellite has come in. Similarly, HD is a technology which is which is getting diffused as we speak, which is getting adopted as we speak. And as technology gets adopted, most of the times obviously higher quality, higher cost technologies get adopted from the top. So from an advertiser point of view, when that reaches a critical mass, that becomes an interesting way to slice the market to get the top of the pyramid. So we believe that top of the pyramid obviously is the best place for advertisers to be, whether it is in the print piece, whether it is in the television piece that we are being in. and therefore the returns on HD success from an advertising point of view, at least in the initial phase, will be much more than the other areas. But I don't think HD is the future only of English. HD is the future of all broadcasting. It's a matter of time before everything will be HD. In fact, now I think we will start seeing somebody launching a 4K channel, and then 4K will be the sort of new thing. So I think it's not about HD being the future of English. HD is the future of everything, all broadcasting. I think English is an important medium in India. It's a very important language in India. It is not just a language, it's a sort of a social climbing tool. It's one of the most important social climbing tools. As time goes, as decades become centuries, it is only going to become stronger and stronger. I mean, I would love that Indian languages are strong, but the fact is today, right now, I'm speaking to you in English. The books that we read is in English. The mediums that everybody wants to educate the children is in English. So, and the fact is, English is not because of England or Britain. It's because it's the language of the world, and because it's the language of the world, English entertainment production companies, wherever they are based out of, whether they could be in India in the future, whether in Britain or in the US or in Hollywood, they have a much larger market. When they have large market, the play is larger. When the play is larger, the production quality and the money that they put behind production is better. And obviously, therefore, the production quality of English will be better than Japanese or Korean or German or French. And we're not here to sort of compete from that point of view. But the fact is, if production quality is going to be better, cutting edge content in terms of thinking, thought, stories, technicians is going to be better. There is no way that you're going to be sort of wish that away. Now, whether it is Netflix or any other method by which it is done, the fact is, Indian consumers, there is always going to be a significant and influential bunch of Indian consumers who are going to be consuming Indian news, Indian entertainment, English news, English entertainment, English GC, English whatever you want to call it. That can be through Netflix, it could be through movies now, it could be through some other method, but that's not going to go down. So, if you're asking me a question as to should broadcasters now suddenly sort of stop investing or not do anything just because Netflix is coming, I don't think so. Because YouTube is coming, does it mean that other apps are not going to sort of get launched? And do you think that and these are all businesses which are built over the last 10 years. You never know what's going to happen in the next 10 years. Somebody, a Netflix equivalent or competitor who's going to be the biggest, may be coming out of India in the next 10 years, and those will happen only when Indian entrepreneurs, whether it is broadcasters or otherwise, play in that market through their own brands. You can't be sort of freezing in your tracks just because some competitor is coming into the fray. I'm sure when new entrants come in, it will change the landscape. It will force people to innovate, and it will lead to a new equilibrium. That does not mean that everybody in the existing market is going to sort of stop and sort of just make way and or not survive at all. It's not some I'll sort of fight till my last drop of blood. No, we will fight to stay and be relevant and make profits even in the future. I think piracy is a problem for any content. Maybe it's not a direct problem for the general entertainment channels in the Indian languages, but if you were to operate a Hindi movie channel or a regional movie channel, the same problem, or a music channel, you will find the same problem. So piracy is not specific to English entertainment, and it's not that the English viewers have more access to BitTorrent. I know of lots of people who may not be English literate or watching English. They watch Tamil, they watch Telugu, they watch Hindi from BitTorrent. That's happening. That I think is already started with the infotainment side, whether it is travel or the or lifestyle type of content. There is a lot of stuff which is made for India and can also probably travel. But entertainment, Indian production companies to do, I think that will take some time. And even if it happens, that's like DreamWorks is an Indian company. from that point of view. I mean, you have an Indian promoter for that. I think that will, those will have wings to fly only when they are produced for the global market and not for the Indian market.